Thank you very much, Zainab, for the good question, and Layla, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm happy that it's raining finally. So hopefully there won't be so much desire to steal other people's cattle and to start doing some farming in certain places. I think part of the challenge, and this challenge is not just limited to actually Kenya. It is in northern Uganda, in parts, and parts of Sudan and Ethiopia, and has to do what we call the culture of a bandit economy. Culture of a bandit economy that at a time of increased stress on ability for those communities to actually be able to keep their wildlife. Right now, until of course recently, this past week and today, the region has been experiencing perhaps the worst climatic conditions in many decades. This has taken a toll, and not just in Kenya, and as you have seen. Now, if you build your lifestyle around, for instance, just livestock, and that livestock starts disappearing, and you've graduated from owning spears into owning an AK-47, it changes the equation, dramatically. And so, as long as I think we do not find a viable long-term solution to change the bandit economy of these communities, we may respond to it right now, and using kinetics is normally the immediate objective to stop the bleeding. But the long term, we need to be able to fashion these people in a different way. We need to be able to build infrastructure that can change the economy of these places. Because, and it's interesting what my colleague has mentioned, that the bandits are also moving. Mm-hmm. Of course, they also move. Remember, they are part of the social fabric of those communities. You have seen not even every politician in this country is happy with the operation that's being undertaken. Some of them may not just come out to say it, but it sometimes is being viewed as perhaps targeting their communities and making them vulnerable for the next fight. There are hundreds of thousands of illegal, small arms and light weapons in people's hands that they shouldn't. And this kind of light weapons are not going to be gotten rid of in one operation. Part of it has been, there's been a systematic accumulation of those weapons, in part also as a result of a very fragile region. And so it's going to take a longer term strategy. So we do loud efforts are being undertaken, but this is just the immediate objective. Mm-hmm. The medium term and the long term has to do with changing the culture by changing the economics of those places and offering an alternative to that type of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Because those people, especially in yesteryears, if you went even certain places of Turkana and Pokot, you find that a gun was one of the most prized things, and they used to call it msichana wangu. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it guaranteed you not just safety, but ability to be able to actually accumulate wealth. And so if a
source of power.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't change that dynamic, it becomes a challenge to achieve the kind of long-term objectives we want to be able to achieve. Much like sometimes fighting terrorism when communities have built an economy around terrorism.